It's just chatting about something that I love. So.
Exactly. Hey guys, I'm Ray here at Manimal Athletics. I'm here with Mike. We just had a fantastic no-gi jiu-jitsu class, kind of an introduction to some of our students. Some have done a little bit of no-gi before, but predominantly most of them have not. Most of them learning in the gi, of course. So anyway, this is our very first interview. First time doing this. It's going to be a rough cut. Bear with us. There's no blooper reel. We're just going for it. We're just getting this. I'm going to try to keep track of time, or we're going to do like a quick 20 minutes, even though we both can talk for hours.
That's right.
Okay, Mike, first question. You can martial arts journey.
Martial arts journey. Well, I actually started, I did Japanese jiu-jitsu when I was like a teenager. I think I was 12 or 13, and I saw a Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah.
So I hopped in.
Back then, yes.
That was way back. And then, life passed by. I didn't carry on. And then, I think I was almost 40. I went to Titans. I dropped in there, and I actually went in for a boxing class, and I saw them doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I kept watching. And
what location do you remember?
It was like in Bears Lake area.
Okay.
Where they are now.
Yep.
And around 2013, 14. I went in, and then I saw the jiu-jitsu, and then I was like, I got to try it. And then I went in, and I think I trained there for about a year. And then again, life journey, running a business, joining the military. And so I was on and off for a bit. I trained a little bit at MMA 374, but 2019 is when I really took the art serious, and I haven't stopped ever since. And it's been a great journey. And like I said to you earlier, and you hear the quote, like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I started a little later in life, so I'm
okay. Are we allowed to ask how old you are now?
I'm 50 in the fall. So
man, I'm 55.
So, almost there. And I'm in the military, and that was also a reason I kind of like, how can I help get ready for basic training? And I've actually done basic training twice in my 40s.
Wow.
For a non-commissioned member, then I commissioned to an officer.
That's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
Real quick, how does someone at that age go again with the younger? Was there younger people there?
Yeah, the guys half your age, and it's no different than sometime on the mats. But I've never let that number get in my head, and it's I attribute a lot to martial arts. And obviously, I eat and I control what I eat, but this is really all I do is martial arts and a little bit of weight training, and 2 boot camps now behind, and that's probably it, hopefully. But so martial arts is very applicable to the style, how you need to exert kind of anaerobic, like go hard for a little bit, rest, go hard. And that's to me Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when you're sparring.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And we don't talk about politics on these things. We're just having a good time. But obviously you were at Titans, and then you moved 374 MMA. Yeah. They're still around, of course, a big gym. And then you moved to...
Yeah, I was at Halifax BJJ because actually when I looked into it again, I was looking around and I saw some familiar faces there. Yep. Because a lot of the guys, as you know, were at Titans before they started Halifax BJJ, and they were all superheroes to me when I was back there. And I've said this before. I always said if I could just do a little fraction of what they were doing, to me, seeing it was magic. But and then I became really good friends with Josh Presley, and I trained under him in the mornings for almost 2 years. And
what time was that in the morning?
6 a.m.
Wow.
6:15. Yeah. Oh. That's a hard.
Josh probably have to get up like 3:30 or something to travel from his place.
Yeah, he was never late, and
professional.
Josh opened his own club. We're almost neighbors, and we're good friends, and. I've been learning from him. Like, I remember seeing him at Titans. He was like, I was winning world medals, and I was like, everyone was like, look at this, you got to watch this guy. And, and we just, and here we are today. So I've been with Josh for almost, since around 2019 training under him, but I'm training out at Presley BJJ now for about almost 2 years now. So
that's awesome. I mean, as we know, the community, it's quite large now because you keep track of schools and black belts, and I do, and we often communicate back and forth on new black belts or new schools. And I mean, now we know officially there's 90 black belts.
Yeah, that's just amazing.
And I've said it before, and not all of them, but a majority of them can trace their lineage back to Peter and Kevin, the fathers of BJJ for Nova Scotia. And I mean, there was people little bit before them,
Yeah.
a little bit, but really those are the pioneers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, but 90 black belts. I can't remember off the top of my head how many clubs, but I think there's like 20.
Yeah, in Nova Scotia, I've
13 in HRM.
Yeah,
In HRM alone, we have 13. And some obviously with all the clubs are great, different like world-class instructors with Jake McKenzie and I mean all the other guys. And I found like you going to every club, super welcoming, welcome you train, you know, you pay your drop-in fee, you just have a good time.
Absolutely.
And I've been to Josh's once and I talked to him a little bit and I remember telling him, man, this is really perfect because it's just you.
Yeah.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
You have your space. And you can just train.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so,
yeah, I mean, that's obviously when you're doing that's your passion and well, the livelihood for some too. And like I said, it's so interactive and small, it feels like a private lesson at some time. So, hey, it's excellent.
So, what do you prefer? Like you guys do gi and no gi? I had a couple quick questions to ask you.
Yeah. That the curriculum there is pretty dominant to the no gi.
Yep.
And that seems to be customer demand, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
But there is a gi class. There still is a gi program, but you definitely see when you're there more numbers gravitating and coming to the classes. And I think that's kind of a trend I'm seeing around. And well, you can see it in the big global, scene. The no-gi tournaments and venues are the big, money makers and draw bigger crowds. But I love the gi still. That's where I started. And
no gi, I know, is definitely very exciting.
Absolutely.
And I guess I like both, but I guess coming because I'm also a very traditional martial arts instructor. So even though I know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, some people don't think of it as traditional. There's parts of it that are the history and where it comes from. But I'm currently learning, but gi Jiu-Jitsu. I like no gi, which I've been doing for a long time.
For sure.
But gi, I feel if for me personally, this is only my opinion. If I'm going to earn my belt, I want to have the gi, the belt, and that's kind of how it should be, right?
I hope it stays that way, that you have an option and, whether it's 50-50, but personally, I think it helps your game to train both. And,
100%.
And there's advantages.
What do you think of combat jiu-jitsu? Eddie Bravo.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's wild. It definitely, some entertainment.
For those who don't know, you're allowed palm strikes. And I spent time training with him in California.
Nice.
He didn't have combat jiu-jitsu at the time. But, I mean, he was a professional, great school, great club.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think of that?
Yeah,
I like it.
It's entertaining. I mean, I guess you got the whole slap competitions today. But, I don't know. I still think the traditional, like, comps, like you see with Craig Jones and the, ADCC and stuff, I think that's still drawing more of a crowd. I mean, you've got Craig Jones with his $1 million tournament coming. I mean, but Eddie Bravo, innovator and always was ahead of the time. I feel like always.
Have you been following any of the Craig Jones videos?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love them. I just think it's so he does it. He's entertaining.
Oh, he's entertaining.
I mean, the stuff that he's doing, and it's not boring.
No, he's entertaining, and he makes you laugh, and he's bringing attention to the art. And I mean, he's bringing money to the art, and. We'll see this upcoming tournament. I mean,
so what do you think, Gabby Garcia? And
that's
Craig
interesting.
I think I could be wrong, but personally, I think he's doing it to build everything. Maybe they'll do a friendly match at the end.
I mean, hopefully the competitors are there. I mean, they're the top in the world. They're at the top of their game. That they get to showcase their skills and. That money is a life changer for these guys. That's what they do day in and day out. And, unfortunately there's not a lot of big cash prizes. A lot of them make money doing seminars more than they do in the competition. So this
videos, YouTube, instructionals. I mean, way back in the 90s, the first VHS tape you could get was basically Henzo Gracie, Craig Kukoc videos. I remember having them, putting them in my VCR, and that's how Peter and Kevin originally got in it too, I think.
That's awesome.
But watching it and trying the moves, and I'm like, wow. But I noticed that, and you were talking about competitors and stuff, and that's one thing I really like about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and some other martial arts have it too, but you could have your average recreational Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person, which would be me, and then you have your local competitors that compete locally, and maybe they'll go nationally, go to the States, but then you have really high level, And then you have elite level, no, just they could wipe out everybody in every club possible. They're just at that level. But dedication, time, training, most of us don't have, can't just quit our jobs and train all the time. It'd be nice. But,
it would be nice.
And so the most important thing is we're going to talk about your upcoming event that you have planned.
Super excited.
First time ever in Atlantic, Canada. I keep track of all that stuff, and I've never heard of this before.
I mean, it's definitely, that's kind of what kind of sparked the idea. I mean, I'm pretty much a recreationalist too. I do this for my health, mental health, physical health, dabbled in a little competition, but it was a lifestyle choice for the overall benefits. But I always saw these like retreats in Costa Rica or somewhere in Europe, and I was like, man, that would be my dream vacation, to be able to go and just do jiu-jitsu, have some good food, be around positive environments, people who have the same passion. In some cases, like in California, you're like in nature, next to the ocean. I'm like, why not? We have such, I'm such a proud Nova Scotian and an Atlantic Canadian. I mean, we have such a beautiful backdrop, our ocean, I'm so proud of where I'm from. And I was like, why not try and do that here? Ideally it'd be nice to have like the local community is what I'm hoping will transpire and come and learn from one another, learn from a world, legend or champion.
So tell us quickly about this gentleman.
Kyle Terra, he's a 12-time world IBJJF champion. 10 of those were in no-gi. And so talking about gi and no-gi, so I want to make sure that anyone that's interested or looking at it, that we are going to do some gi and no-gi, but Kyle does have an immense background and successful background in no-gi. So we're going to mix it up. And we also, we made some revamps. We, just kind of feeling out what people were looking for and gauging interest. And we wanted to, again, Coastline's all about Atlantic Canada. So we're bringing in some local instructors, Josh Presley, instructor, and the durable grappler, Vince, who's having some remarkable results with local
I hear great, I've never met him, but I hear great success stories from what he's doing.
Absolutely. It's a very structured, he's a very structured program, not just about the technique, but strength and conditioning, recovery, breathing. It's a whole program for the longevity and prevent injuries. And, you saw at the recent Breakthrough Grappling, the success of his club, his members that work underneath him for the training, in addition to their club, but they also work with the durable grappler. It's the way I'm trying to explain it is a weekend of nothing but jiu-jitsu, 12 hours. If you want to do the open mats and all the classes, the Atlantic Ocean is literally a rock throw away. And we got a world champion there and who has been around for a while and has amazing results and a resume that speaks for itself. And I just feel that's kind of the goal also, is promoting the local community and where we're from, and that the BJ community and the Atlantic Canadian community as a whole, but bringing everybody together and sharing passion and knowledge and helping grow, bringing that in here. And if we all take something from it and take it back to your clubs, it's all about learning from each other and sharing it. And if it helps someone grow,
so people could just travel from their own house, go to the seminar for the day.
We revamped because we felt like we were missing out on the local community, like Halifax. We'll make it more accessible, and we feel like it might be easier if someone come in, just train for the day and then go home. And also saving some money at the end of the day. And come train for the day, like a camp, go home, sleep, come back and do it again. It's 2 days. And there's, like I said, a beautiful, if you've never been to the Oceanstone Resort, I highly recommend checking it out. Like Peggy's Cove is 5 minutes away. It's literally on the ocean. There's a restaurant on site. If you do want to get some food, you can bring in your own food and snacks. In jiu-jitsu, we tend to always have a banana or a protein bar. Like, bring your own stuff, and it's going to be just an amazing weekend. Again, if you want just a weekend of jiu-jitsu, hanging out with people that share the same interests and learning and and challenging yourself, because it is a fairly extensive camp.
Yep.
And I think if you go and make it to the end, you'll be so proud of yourself and the friendships, the knowledge you'll pick up, and just to challenge yourself and to go in and take on that kind of a challenge.
That's awesome. So guys, yeah, we're going to be done shortly because we're keeping our interviews really short. My camera's a little bit crooked, so sorry about that. This is our first episode. My goal is to travel around to a lot of different Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu clubs and do interviews like this, quick ones. It's going to take a little bit of time. Real quick, because you're from Presley BJJ, just shout out and tell us a little bit about it. Where it's at.
Yeah, Presley BJJ, obviously run by Josh Presley, black belt. Actually started at Titans, and he's under Kevin Taylor. Josh has a multiple IBJJF champion, international. He just recently won the Rogue Grand Prix last year. He's out there. He's a very active local black belt competitor, and that's very inspiring to me when you see your coach out there and going out and challenging himself and coming back, and or just to watch him train for it too is very inspiring, and you learn so much. And it's neat to be part of a team as someone that's out there and you're helping them.
Yeah, credit to him, because I know not everybody can compete, and some instructors don't compete, which is great. Nothing wrong with that at all. They're awesome teachers. They pass the art, but also good to see your instructor who's out doing the things that he's teaching.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And like I said, it's a very it feel like, again, I'm getting a private lesson. It's a nice small group. Works well for me, and
I know, because he works full time, but he has some morning classes.
He has a morning class 6:15 every day, and then 7:30. And I believe now it's his full time venture, so he's committing all of his time into his club and growing. And he's also very active online, always sharing his knowledge to everybody. He
does a lot of videos, and I know he does the manuals, or I don't know what to call them, but he sends out stuff through email. Different things, projects he's working on.
He has like a newsletter.
That's the word, newsletter.
And he'll write about anything local. He just did a recap of the Rogue Grand Prix. He watched every match and broke it down.
Wow.
I mean, he's so passionate, and when you see someone that passionate, you're getting the best. Like
shout out to his podcast.
Shout out to
Canadian BJJ podcast.
Absolutely.
I was on it once. It was awesome. We had a good talk about the history of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Nova Scotia. It was really, really good. And so, definitely shout out to Josh, of course.
Absolutely.
And so, guys. So anyway, Mike came tonight. He taught we only have a fundamentals class. We only have about, 18, 19 students. Most of us are a little bit older. I don't want to give away age, but a lot of us are over 40, over 50. We're just training for fun, fitness, learn the art. Also to apply Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to all the other arts that we teach or know or learn here. We love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but we're also try to throw it in with other things too.
That's great.
So,
that's awesome.
Real quick, I didn't prepare this, but I'm just going to do a real fast round. You got to answer these questions pretty quick. Okay. I'm making this up on the spot because I didn't write any notes down. It's our first interview, but here we go. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, good. Chuck Norris or Jackie Chan?
Chuck Norris.
Perfect. Favorite martial arts movie that you can remember? Or action movie?
Action movie. Wow.
I know, it's quick questions while he's thinking.
Yeah, you know what? I like the new, the Beekeeper. Jason Statham.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I'm on vacation. I
have to say, and he really practices, martial arts, and I think he's doing a good job. So,
okay.
Yeah. Really
right on.
Good fight.
Do you believe in the death touch?
I do not believe in the death touch. I haven't had it done on me, so
okay,
I can't. If I have it
I think it's referred to as the delayed death touch.
Okay.
It doesn't work right away. Maybe it works down the road. And obviously, we asked you gi or no gi. Like, really, your favorite, what you like? I know you like them both.
You know what? The gi. I do like the gi. I like the grips. I like some of the, there's some sneaky chokes with the lapel. I like how I can slow it down, especially being, hitting that, demographic. I'm rolling into a new decade soon. But I just I feel I can control but sometimes it works against you, but it can slow the game down a little. Right. And there's a lot more guard, and it's just very versatile. I train both.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, I started in the gi, and I'll never stop training in it. As long as I'm doing this, I'll keep putting the gi on. So.
We're Canadians, for anyone that sees this. However, I'm going to word it this way. Your personal Mount Rushmore, obviously we know what Mount Rushmore, of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It can be 2 or 3 or any people that you watch, look online. It could be the old masters. Like, who would you say should be up there on your personal Mount Rushmore of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Obviously, I mean, it's probably cliche, but I mean, Gordon Ryan is the king. And I mean, and he is a no-gi guy, but I mean, he's proven it over and over again.
Yep.
But then Jorge Gracie, you know, guy's a legend. He's a GOAT. And he did manage to do both gi and no gi very well and dominate the scene. And
Hodger Gracie.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No. I thought you said Helio Gracie at first. And I'm
Hodger Gracie.
I think he's just a gi guy.
No, and Marcelo Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
Another guy, again, that could take his butterfly guard and could transfer it to no gi, and he could use it in the gi. And he just
shout out to him because he trains with also now, because he had some health issues and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, he did.
He had cancer and a few other health issues, but he trains with, I don't know him personally, but he's in my Jeet Kune Do family. We talk on Facebook once in a while, like through Messenger or through, anyway, Burton Richardson, he's in Hawaii and he's a black belt under Marcelo Garcia.
Oh, wow.
But they also train a little bit of Jeet Kune Do, a little bit of Filipino arts. That actually helped Marcelo get his arms moving again and doing things.
No, it's amazing. I was following that story, and it's good to see him back in back in his dojo or doing else. So
next time I'm going to have more questions. We're wrapping it up, but I don't know if there's anything you want to say at the end, any philosophy, anything you want to add. Just
I mean, I've always told. I mean, I've been at it a little while, and again, it's a marathon for me, and I was always told, just keep showing up. And that's the motto I take every day is, I could sit at home and time will pass, or I go to a club and move my body and learn and be in a positive environment. And I'm just going to say, like, I appreciate all the support for Coastline BJJ. I know we haven't been around long, but again, the premise is just to bring the community together, help share information, especially like with the tournament scene getting bigger and bigger. Like, our goal was to have a one-stop shop to find all that info, so you don't have to go around researching, and it's all there. And because the tournament scene is getting bigger and bigger. Huge. There's more clubs, and
the old days, like especially Abaya and Marmac, or just people that held tournaments. Even Fit Plus, they like one of the first ones
for sure.
And actually, a guy named Dave McKenna's Taekwondo, held the first 2 submission grappling. No, sorry, I'm going to correct myself. Held the 3rd and 4th submission grappling tournament, because actually my old club Bushido Kai put on the first one back in the 90s, 1st and 2nd.
Nice.
Then Dave McKenna, and that's guys like Kyle Sanford, Shane Rice, they all were there. I posted those videos. They did the first sort of MMA match. It was crazy. But yes, the Coastline Collective, it's a website, you can check it out. Obviously we always share it on Nova Scotia BJJ.
Appreciate that.
And shout out to Mike Holloman, wrestling coach at Maritime Jiu-Jitsu, as well as a BJJ brown belt. He's kind of the guy that got the Nova Scotia BJJ Facebook page going. And then he asked me to kind of help him. And obviously I've taken it over and I just go crazy with it. Because even though I work full time at an aerospace defense facility, I'm on Facebook all the time.
It's all good.
And so any philosophy, anything at the end, but I know you just said it. My ADHD is
slow and steady. Like I said, just keep showing up, and that's the best advice I was given.
Slow and steady, no agenda. That's our motto here. We just train to have a good time. And so that's it, guys. So I guess my philosophy, and this mostly goes for instructors or even students, but predominantly instructors, always remember the most important student you'll ever have is yourself. And that's it. I've often found you could train a student for 5, 6, 7, 20 years. And then one day they come to you and they say, I'm taking up lawn bowling now. So, and then you're like, oh, there goes all my knowledge. You're just out the door. So the most dedicated student you'll ever have is yourself. Anyway, Mike,
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so
Coming
much.
to Manimal. We often host various different instructors here all the time. Sadly, we pay nothing, because I don't own the gym. Shout out to Ryan Staples, owner of Manimal Athletics
Absolutely.
Training Center. I just help him here. And so we're always open. Anybody that wants to come by and teach a class, especially if you're a purple belt and up, or any level, we don't really care. As long as it's fundamentals from white to blue. And that's it, guys. All right. This official series is called Tales from the Mat.
Nice.
And that's, anyway, it's our first video. We're working on it. So that's it.
Awesome.
I'm going to turn off the camera. It's going to be very awkward.